Hello, everyone. Welcome, LIBOR family. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here with you all. I am Kiana. I'm a member success advisor here at KCM, and I know that all of you are here because we get to kick off a really special thing, and that is our partnership, KCM and LIBOR partnership. We could not be more excited. I know a lot of you were at our event last week with when we got to come be at LIBOR to share the good news in terms of us kicking off this partnership together. So I would just like to set some housekeeping tips before we jump into everything today. Um, Feel free. I know we've got some folks that are still joining, but this session is being recorded. So we're going to make sure that we get this over to you so that you can rewatch it if you need to. I know one thing about you realtors, y'all are busy. So maybe you're in your car right now. Maybe you're in between appointments and you can only log on for a few minutes. We want to make sure that you don't miss a second. And therefore, we're going to be recording this and we'll make sure that you get the replay. So if you want to, you can come back and watch it. I also would love for this session to be as interactive as possible. So as you have questions, please drop those in the chat. I am more than happy to get to as many of those that I can. And if I can't get to them today, I will make sure that you know where to go to get ongoing support because that is one thing that we want to offer you, our LIBOR family, and that is tons of support as we kick off this partnership, as we go into 2026 with momentum and as we help you all really make this the best year yet. So, like I said, I am Kiana. For those of you that are just now joining, I am Kiana. I'm a member success advisor here, and we've got a roadmap of things that we're going to cover today. First and foremost, we're going to cover how to get started with KCM. So most of you should already be enrolled. And if you were not enrolled with your KCM LIBOR, membership, let us know in the chat and we will make sure that we get with each of you to get you up and running, okay, without any challenges. But I'm assuming that most of you are already enrolled and y'all are ready to go. You're like, okay, where do I start? Put me in, coach. So that is where we're going to start today. We are going to hello, I see you are wanting to get enrolled. We will make sure we follow up with you after today's training to help you get enrolled. And Linda, I'm not familiar with KCM. That's all right. You will be familiar with us today. And Linda, I do not know I'm enrolled. Actually, let me see if I can grab the link really quick to see if I can actually drop that into the chat. For those of you that are not enrolled yet. So that way we can make sure that we get you off and running strong. Give me one moment and I'm going to pull that up for all of us today so I can drop that in the chat. But yes, I know that some of you are like, hey, I am not familiar with KCM. We're here to help you. All right, we're here to help you. I'm actually going to put the enrollment link here in the chat. All right. So for those of you who have not enrolled or do not have a KCM membership, please go ahead and you're not currently enrolled, you can access that enrollment link to get started with KCM. It's very simple. It should take you less than 5 minutes to complete the enrollment. Now, I know some of you, and I see you in the chat, y'all are already KCM members. So bear with me today. I know some of you already have access to KCM and you may have questions about like, okay, what is my role? How does that work for me if I'm already an existing KCM member, but I also want to take advantage of the LIBOR sponsored membership? Because listen, your LIBOR, they want you all to succeed this year. So they worked really hard and created a very special membership just for you with us. So if you have questions about that, I know those are very unique circumstances. So I will reach out to you individually. I see Wendy, you in the chat. I'll reach out to you individually after today's training so we can talk about, your account and, how that works with the LIBOR sponsored membership. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. We're going to be in the KCM member area today. And so I can give you a walkthrough of like where to start, where to orient yourself, especially those of you that are like, hey, I've actually never heard of KCM or Keeping Current Matters before. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. As you have questions, I'm going to do my best to get to most of them today. But if I do not get to them, we will follow up with you post webinar so that way we can get your questions answered and make sure you feel confident using KCM. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And here we are. So here we are in your dashboard. And as you log in, if you go into my KCM, yes, Tiffany, I see that you are having some Wi-Fi challenges. This will be recorded. So we are going to make sure that you get access to the replay when you have better Wi-Fi. But if you want to go ahead and follow along with me, those of you that are already enrolled, those of you that are currently enrolling, no worry, you'll catch up with me. We're just going to cover a few things today, but you'll want to go to mykcm.com. All right, mykcm.com. I put that in the chat for you so that you can go ahead to that link. And once you log in, that's going to bring you to the KCM dashboard. Okay, think of this as your landing page. Now, what we're going to provide you here at KCM, because I know a bunch of you are, you are in between appointments, you've got a full calendar, especially going into the spring season, and there's so many different directions that you're being pulled in. Maybe you're, a full-time realtor. Maybe you're doing real estate part-time. I was actually talking with a LIBOR member the other day, Daniel, and he has a job during the day, and real estate is what he does outside of that. And he has been with KCM for years now. I mean, at least like 10 years. And he said the one thing that KCM helps him do consistently is to save time. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to spend today going through all of that, but how do we do that? How can we set the scene today to show you like we're here to help you work smarter and not harder? Because there's a lot of different things that are happening in the market. There's a tons of different changes and there's this source saying this and this source saying that. How do you know what's real and how do you know what's not real? Well, we have a team here at KCM that goes and does the research. We identify the trends. We compile all the data and we put that together in market ready content that is branded to you that you can share to your sphere of influence. Just like that. So we are here to help you save time and we're here to help you become the local expert. Okay, we want you to stay top of mind with your clients. And so today's training is just a small glimpse into how you can get started taking advantage of that very powerful impact. So again, you'll log into your member area at mykcm.com. And once you're logged in, you'll see this dashboard. Now here, we're going to talk, you might say like, whoa, okay, what is all of this content? What am I doing? Help orient me. So you have foundations access. As a LIBOR realtor, okay, with our partnership, you have foundations access, meaning that you have access to a few select tools and resources here in the KCM member area that are going to add value to you. All right, so I'm going to highlight what tools and resources you have access to as a LIBOR realtor. Now, before I go into any of that, I believe we need to set up our accounts. But don't worry, it's not going to take us all training. It's literally going to take us 5 minutes. So first thing that we want to do, first of two things that we want to do when we log into the KCM member area to get started with KCM is head over to my account in the upper right corner and go to personalization profile. You can also access that by clicking on this blue pencil here where it says your personalization. There's a couple ways to get there just in case you're like, wait, I forgot how I got there, but let me click here. Okay, so we'll click on this blue pencil And then we're brought to this personalization profile. So here is where you can upload your photo and your logos. One thing that we have worked out for our LIBOR realtors is we've uploaded this secondary logo here that is automatically uploaded for you. So that way you're compliant and you have, not only the LIBOR logo here, but you can also upload your personal logo as well. We encourage you to do that. Take a quick second. The LIBOR logo, we've made it easy for you. That's already uploaded into your account. You don't have to worry about that, but you do want to upload your personal logo and you can add in your personal information here. By the way, most of this information is pulled from the enrollment form that you're filling out. You also want to add in your contact information, so your email address, your phone number, even your website. So that way you're discoverable on any KCM blog that you share. You'll want to have all of this set up. You can add in your social profile links, a bio, and a theme color. Okay, your LIBOR color. All right. Now, if you have questions about like, hey, how can you help me with this? Like, I went through that very quickly because it is very simple, but we understand that some of you may have questions. Some of you may want to have a little bit more support on how to set this up, and we are here for you. We've got your back. So if you have questions about how to set up this profile, we can do that for you. All right. Now, I see that we have some questions about Jan, since I was a member before, how do I get the LIBOR membership, the LIBOR logo? I mean, we can definitely get that up, that we can get that for you, Jan. So I'll send you a follow-up email with help on that. Okay. So here, once we set up this personalization profile, next we'll want to go ahead and connect your social media pages. All right. We'll connect your social media platforms to the member area. Now, for me, that especially as someone that may not be tech savvy, I can understand where that's like, what do you mean connect my social media pages? How do I do that? All you'll need is your login information for your Facebook page. All you'll need is your login for your Instagram page and for your LinkedIn and for your X pages. And if you don't know that, then you can reset your password. But that is all you need to know in order to connect KCM to each of these platforms. I'm actually going to show you how quick and easy it is to do. So here, let's say I want to go ahead and activate or connect my LinkedIn page to the KCM member area. All I want to do is click on this activate button. I'm going to be brought to this login page with LinkedIn, and you can see I actually have, because a password, I'm like, I have 51 passwords for everything. If y'all may be here with me, maybe that's you. I am there with you. I have tons of different passwords for tons of different platforms, so I just go ahead and save it on my laptop, just like you see here. But if you don't know your login, that's okay. You can find that information, and then once you've inputted it here, we can click on sign in. And just like so, we get a confirmation message that our LinkedIn page has been connected to the member area. What is this going to allow us to do? Well, it's very simple. Either you can manually share content that I'm going to show you in a second to your pages, or you can set it up and set and forget it with automation. Okay? Meaning that we have a tool that will go ahead if you're like, oh my gosh, every single day I have this to-do list of things that I want to get done. Sharing to social media is one of them, and it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have no time. I don't know what to post. If that's you, our auto poster tool is perfect for you. And if you stay with me, if you stay steady with me for a few more minutes, I'm actually going to show you how you can set that up today. Okay, so we'll go ahead. I see that, Monique, if you do not have accounts with all platforms, is that okay? Absolutely, 100%, 100%. That is totally fine. That is, you only want to use what you currently have. So if you have LinkedIn, connect that. But I will give a preface, okay? We only connect to Facebook business and Instagram business pages. That's not a KCM rule. That's a meta rule, which is the owners of Facebook and Instagram. In order to set up third-party sharing from a platform like ourselves, you'll want to have business pages for Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And so, Linda, I see I'm not a member of KCM. No problem at all. One thing that I'll say for anyone that is joining the party a few few minutes later, we actually are kicking off a special KCM LIBOR sponsored membership where you have access to some of our tools and resources. And I see that we have some folks asking what password to use. Once you enroll within the enrollment link, you should be able to go ahead and set up your password that way. Okay, so I just added the enrollment link into the chat. So you should be able to go ahead and access that enrollment link to set up your account. Okay, anyone that is not currently having access to KCM, use that link and that should get you going. All right. And for those of you, again, that are having challenges, I will follow up with you after today's training so we can make sure that you're all good to go. And we're recording this training. So if you need to come back, you have access to the recording. All right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and keep going. Now, we've connected our social media pages. We've set up our personalization profile. We get 2 big green check marks for those 2 tasks because now what's exciting is we've done exactly what we need to do to go ahead and get started taking advantage of the tools that you have access to as LIBOR realtors. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead over to shareable content on the left-hand side of your screen. And this is going to bring you to a library of content that we have available for you. This is branded content too. I'm actually going to show you what it looks like to have branded content on your with KCM. So here you're going to notice that we have a couple of different content types. We have a blog post, we have a social graphic that are available for you. So with KCM, with our LIBOR sponsored KCM membership that you each have access to, you're going to get 1 branded blog per week. And then you're going to get 1 branded social graphic per week. And these are going to be released to you on Wednesdays. You can see here that we already have a couple of pieces in here for you to take advantage of and start sharing. Now you can look forward to having new content drop in here every single week on Wednesday. So let's take a look at this blog post. The #1 regret sellers have when they don't use an agent. Okay, so here is a blog post. You can see that it has a bit of written text with it. It has data. We actually even source our data. So we can see that this one is, this data comes from NAR, National Association of Realtors. So that way, not only are you able to, make sure that you have credible sources that link back to all the information that we're sharing with you and therefore you're sharing with your clients, you can even access the data here. So if you wanted to dive a little bit deeper into the data that we're pulling from, you can do that. Okay, you have access to all of that. And if we click here you can easily share this to any platform by clicking on the share button. But you might ask, okay, well, what does it look like when I share it? Well, I'm going to show you that. So here I have my branded content, my branded custom blog page that each of you have access to. By the way, if I have not mentioned this already, this partnership that we have access to, that you have access to through KCM and LIBOR, it's complimentary. It's complimentary for you to have access to this blog post, for you to share this blog post at least once a week, branded to your platforms, to your sphere of influence. Okay, this has everything that I've inputted in the KCM personalization profile. You can see I have my photo there, my logos. I have my visit website page where when someone clicks on visit website, they're brought to my page. Now I have the LIBOR page here on my personalization profile, but you can have your particular website where it has, all of your information, your listings and things. There's a lead capture page here, get in touch button. So someone can fill out this page and be able to, you'll be able to get an email from us so that you can gain their information and nurture that lead. Okay. This can be shared to social media. It can be shared to, through email. It can be shared through text message. Our next training next week will actually go through more of like practical use cases, but today is just an introduction. I don't want to overwhelm you. I want to start small, but I want you to know what you have your hands on. Okay, what LIBOR has really just advocated for you all to have access to these tools to make 2026 a great year. So these are our blog posts. Like I said, you get one of these per week on Wednesdays. They're branded to you. All right, just like so. Now we also have social graphics. These are fantastic for any social media platform. They're fantastic for our also to have to text it to a client. These are fantastic to share, okay? Because we live in a world today, especially those of you that are on Instagram, or maybe you don't know this, but I'm sharing with you so you know now. It's a platform where there's not tons of reading, it's a lot of scrolling. Okay? Are you staying top of mind? And now you can do that easily with KCM. So here you can access our social graphic. We have an image editor here on the right-hand side where you can add in a banner with your branding information. You can add in your primary logo. You can notice that the LIBOR logo is already here for you. Okay. You can add this anywhere that you want. And let's say you go ahead and share this. You can click on share, share it anywhere. All right, just like so. You can even download this and share it, text it, include it into an email, whatever you want to do. And not even to take things to the next level, we even give you a suggested caption hashtag. So, for those of you that are like, what is a caption? What is a hashtag? Well, one thing I'll say is that now you don't even have to think about it because you're like, I don't even know that. I didn't even know that was a thing. It is a thing, and it's important to have like a summary or, even to be able to spark a conversation with the folks that are coming across your content. And for those of you that are like, hey, I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, guess what? We give you what to say, so you don't have to come up with it yourself. Now, Deborah, how do we correct our name to allow our license status to appear on all our posts? So yeah, if you go to the personalization profile and add in all your branding, you can make sure that your name and other, compliancy information is there in that profile. Okay. So now, like I said, I introduced real quickly of how you can access these blogs and these social graphics, right? We can manually share this, but those of you that are like, hey, I'm ready to hit the ground running today, how do I set this up to share automatically? If those are you that are like, hey, I want to share automatically, I am with you. I'm like, listen, let me work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to plant the seed of how you can do that today. So when you leave here, you're like, oh, I just learned about KCM today and I already have content that is ready to share automatically. It's getting out to my sphere of influence without me having to without me having to do that every single day. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to cover that. We're going to talk about some guides that you have access to as a foundations member of KCM and LIBOR. And then from there, we'll close up with how do you get support from here? Okay. So let's go over to my account and we'll go to automatic posting. All right, automatic posting. So if you're like, hey, I'm trying to go ahead and have content sharing. I don't want to have to come in my member area and do it. I want to have it kind of like set it and forget it. I want to make sure that my social media platforms, I'm having content that is sharing, that is relevant, that is, up to date, that is current. Okay, because keeping current matters. That's what we pride ourselves in is current information, current data. Well, I'll show you how to go ahead and set up automation. So it's very simple. We'll go to my account, automatic posting, and then we'll click on add a new schedule. Add a new schedule. So here, let's say I'm just going to start with one platform. If you want to have multiple, if you want to, I believe Monique asked about, can I share do I have to connect all three? No, you don't have to connect all three. So let's say that's you and you're like, hey, Monique, I want to be able to, I want to just share them automatically to my Facebook business page. Okay. If that's you, you can go click on this Facebook icon here. I have multiple business pages, but I'm going to select to go ahead and connect the KCM, Kiana KCM. Okay. That's where I'm the most active. So that's where I want to go. And let's say for those of you now, I'm just sticking with Facebook for this example, but let's say you're someone that's like, I want to be able to share to multiple platforms. Maybe you want to add in your Instagram page. Then you can click on Instagram and select that page. You can have multiple platforms on the same schedule. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on back. And then I'll click, once I'm happy with how this looks, okay, I'm going to click on next. And I can set it up so that I have a blog post and a social graphic going out each day. Okay, just like so, or each Wednesday. So I'm going to click on next and I'm going to go ahead and select Wednesday because that's when my blog post is available. And I can go ahead and select the best time that I want to share my blog and my social graphic. So what this is going to do, just so you're aware, it's going to automatically pull from our content library that's most recently published. It's going to automatically pull one of the most recent blogs and or social graphics. So it's not going to share a social graphic and a blog on the same day. All right. It's going to share one or the other. All right. If you wanted to say, hey, I actually want a blog post to go out on, I want a piece of content to go out on Wednesday and Friday, you could do that. So one day it'll be a blog, one day it'll be a social graphic. All right. You can select the times and the days that work for you. All right. From there, we'll click on next. And in the schedule name, we can say KCM automation. You can name it whatever. No one's going to see this other than you. And I would recommend just best practice what the top agents are doing for these post caption settings. They'll turn on a title because it gives your post a title. So let's say today's blog is about sellers. Then that title of the post will show sellers. It'll show the title of like, things that sellers need to know. And it'll say that'll be the title. And then tomorrow's post, maybe that is, things that buyers need to know. That title will update automatically. You don't have to do that. We do that for you. Think of this as like kind of like a marketing assistant that you've hired that, will just post things for you. Okay, post relevant content for you. Excerpt, that is a caption for your post. So I know we were just talking about that caption thing. Some of you are like, I don't know what a caption is still. Just know that it's something to explain the post, to start a conversation for the content that you're sharing. So we'll share this automatically for you. We'll give your post a title for you per post. Okay, you don't have to do that yourself. And then hashtags. So you can add in hashtags, that way you're able to help yourself become a bit more discoverable. Maybe, the post that goes out tomorrow is about equity. Then there will be some hashtags that are relevant to the topic of equity, right? Again, things that you don't have to do yourself. And then suffix. We always recommend coming in and saying, adding a call to action in the suffix, which will say, please call me at for your real estate questions. This is also a great place to put in like a licensing number if you're required to do that for compliancy. You can add in your own hashtags. You can say LIBOR, Long Island, real estate, buy or sell with Monique. You can add whatever you want there. And if you are someone that wants to go ahead and add your own hashtags, then you don't necessarily have to use the hashtags that we give you. This is for folks that are like, I have no idea what a hashtag is. I don't know. I don't have my own hashtags. I want to use yours. You can use what we give you, or you can really make this your own. It really just depends on where you're at. Okay. So, like I said, this will then be updated per post. You don't have to do this. All right. Here's a quick preview of what the post will look like. Okay. On your Facebook, this is what your blogs are going to look like. It's going to have a title. It's going to have the caption. It's going to have the hashtags that we've added automatically for you, your call to action, and anything else that you've now added here in this suffix. Okay. And just like so, I can click on next. I have a preview of my schedule and save. Now, I don't know if y'all were timing me just now. Okay. And I didn't even recommend for that to be done, but I can tell you, for me keeping an eye on my clock just to make sure I respect each of your time today, this took about 5 minutes to set up. And this is something that is going to run in the background. I don't have to go in every single day and post. It is going to be done for me. I can trust that the content is relevant. I can trust that the content is up to date. The content is going to be branded, and it's going to position you as an expert. It's going to keep you top of mind. So when you have a buyer or a seller that, maybe is a past client of yours and it's been 12 years since their last transaction, they're like, hey, actually, Daniel is still current. Daniel is still, in real estate. I don't have to question that. Or maybe, Chloe, your previous client, is like, hey, I have a friend, Samuel, who is looking to buy, and she's been seeing your content consistently on social media, thinking that you're the one posting it, but really you're not. And she goes to you because she's like, you're the one that's been top of mind for her. You're the one that she's been seeing consistently on her social media platforms. So that is the power of automation without taking or for you to spend tons of time. We understand that you're busy. So let's see, what questions do we have? Wendy, if you set up to share automatically, will it be personalized? Yes. So your blogs in particular will have that branded content. Social graphics, I believe will have the LIBOR logo on it. I need to double check with my team though, but they should have the LIBOR logo. They won't have your personal logo on them. Monique, YouTube, we don't currently share to YouTube, and we don't have any like social graphics, and blogs aren't ideal for YouTube. You could theoretically use one of our blog posts with your current foundation's access, which is one blog per week, one social graphic per week. I'm going to show you the last tool that you have available to you with the foundation's access. But we do, and LIBOR has worked really hard and has advocated. Listen, y'all, they've advocated for y'all to have access. If you do decide to upgrade to our full KCM paid memberships, y'all have some really pretty significant, generous discounts. Okay, so if you want to have access, Monique, to some of more of our content that is more suited for YouTube, then we can definitely talk about what having access to additional tools and resources could look like for you and for all LIBOR realtors. I can see that we have, let's see, what other questions do we have before I close up with our last tool that you have access to? Wendy, I already answered your question. Let's see. When Chun, does people use the auto will have the same context? I think you're asking, will everyone that is using automation, will it be the same content? Maybe that's what you're asking. If that is not correct, please confirm and clarify for me in the chat. But that's a great question. So because it's randomized, it's not guaranteed, and you may choose a day that is different from Wendy. Wendy may choose a different day from Linda. So it really just depends on what schedule you're on. There is a possibility that, Wendy, you'll share the same blog post as Jan. But I will say that what's cool about just all of our content and just in the nature of the work that you do, your sphere of influence, right? Because you're each realtors, most of your network are realtors, right? Like that is your sphere of influence. Like you hang around you typically hang around like-minded folks, right? And you're consistently consuming, real estate news and updates because that's what you do. That's the expertise. That's your expertise. But a civilian, if you will, or your clients, their sphere of influence is not a ton of realtors. So if you're concerned about duplicate content, the likelihood of them seeing your post and, Wendy's post being the same is very, very slim. Okay. And Wendy's post will be, branded to her, and then your post will be branded to you. So hopefully that answers your question. Wendy, so if you do it manually, if you can set up personalization, so if you do it manually, you can personalize it, but not if you set up auto posting correct. So your blogs, just as I shared with you, let me go back here. So when you're on your blog post, right, and this blog is shared automatically to Facebook, this is exactly what it's going to look like when they open it. Okay, this is exactly what they're going to see. The social graphics, that's the part that I need to double check. for you all, and I will make sure that I follow up with we'll make sure that's communicated well, whether that's through email or whether that's at our next training. We will make sure that it's better communicated. And I'm sorry that I don't have that information to confirm. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing. But I do believe that we've worked it out so that your social graphics are branded with the LIBOR logo when they're automatically shared. If they are not, then what I have chatted with members is you can have blogs automatically shared. Okay, those are branded to you, and then you can manually share your social graphics, and that way you can brand those a little bit more to your liking and make sure like your logos are on there. Maybe we can even add in like the banner where it can have your name, your phone number, all of your branding information. So that is something that you could do. And if for some reason you're like, hey, like that's how I want to do it, when you're on this step of setting up your personalization profile, I'm sorry, setting up your automation schedule, you won't turn on social graphics. You'll just leave blog post. Okay. And so that way it's only sharing blogs. All right, let's see what other questions we have. Um, Laura, all content should be co-branded. Yes. Let's see. Kareem. Hi, I currently have a membership. Like, how does this work for me now? That's a great question. So that will be a very specific question that we'll need. And what I would love to do is just follow up with you separately, just because I'll need to look into your account and see what that could mean for you. Linda, the people will see you is from LIBOR contact database. Um, I'm not sure your question, Linda, so I might need to follow up with you separately as well. Can I explore that on the website, Monique? I'm assuming you're asking about additional tools that KCM offers that you can explore. Elena, can we talk about Real Talk? That's a great question. So, that's not a tool that you all currently have access to, but it is pretty cool. It allows for you to basically have scripts as a paid KCM member with our Elite plan. And by the way, all of our plans, if you decide to upgrade to one of our paid plans, we have a pretty significant discount for you, and that's 50% off our monthly and our annual plans. So you could earn access, and we can, if you have questions about pricing and things like that, feel free to let me know in the chat and we can follow up with you. But our Real Talk tool is, it's $99.95 per month typically to have access to everything that KCM offers. And that tool in particular, you'll get multiple scripts per week where you can read directly from our teleprompter using KCM scripts that are speaking about what's happening in the market, and you don't have to do any editing at all. It'll take you less than 5 minutes to do a video. And that's assuming that you mess up a few times because you're like, oh, I stumbled over that word. Oh, I stumbled over that word. So it's a pretty cool tool. Elena, yes, I'm happy to follow up. And thank you, Laura, for including that in the chat. You are a rock star. Let's see. Cheryl, can you follow up with me to see if I'm under? Yes, I can follow up with you. Mary Jo, I do see that you have asked to be followed up with, so I will do that. Is that what yes, Cheryl, absolutely. Everything that I'm showing you today, the one blog a week, the one social graphic per week, which are both co-branded with LIBOR branding as well as your personal branding. When you set up the personalization profile, you have rights to share that manually, okay, which we'll cover next week, or you can share that automatically. I covered automation just now because I'm like, hey, I want y'all to start sharing like now. So that way you can get content out into your sphere of influence without having to do any heavy lifting. And what I'm going to show you last is our guides that we have. So I'm going to give you a perfect scenario for this, okay? And we'll go over more use cases and practical use tips next week. But for those of you that maybe you have an open house this weekend, all right? And you're like, all right, I really want to set myself apart. I want to be able to give I'm the expert. I am someone who passes knowledge to my clients. Like I'm an educator. I have the heart of a teacher. Our founder, Steve Harney, he actually, KCM has roots in Long Island. So it's really cool and really special, this partnership. But Steve Harney, he always talks about the heart, or he always talked about having the heart of a teacher. So if that's you, which I'm assuming that everyone on here today has the heart of a teacher, and you're like, okay, how can I separate myself by adding value, educating my clients, but also doing so in a way that I don't have to be a graphic designer and I don't have to put everything together. The guides are going to be perfect for you. So you have a buyer guide and a seller guide. These are seasonal. And this is the winter guide that I'm about to download and have us take a look at. These are perfect to print off and to have at your open houses. Okay. So you can have these here and you can see that the table of contents, what you really need to know about down payments, affordability, more homes, more choices. And so all of the content here is data backed, and it gives you an opportunity to educate your buyers. So as they're coming into your open house, you have a print off of this that you're able to give them, and it ends with this call to action. Okay, where you have your contact information, and you're asking like, hey, let's chat. So these are perfect for open houses. If you have an open house this weekend, download this. Don't procrastinate. Like, let's download this and get it printed off so you can have this at your open houses to give to your buyers. Maybe you have a one-on-one listing appointment with a seller and you're like, hey, I'm going to print this off for my seller. You can download these, you can share them to social media, you can even email them to your clients. So we're actually going to, like I said, we're going to go through more practical use cases with these next week, but I wanted to plant the seed of how and what to expect with this foundation's access to KCM, being a LIBOR realtor. We're really, really excited about this, y'all. So we have a couple more minutes. Veronica, yes, that's a really great question. It does. We do update these quarterly. So the spring guides will be available around March 15th is when those will be available. Let's see. I can see that we have, so if we set up our automation, we should only set it up for. Great. Yeah, that's a great question. So you can absolutely set your automation up for twice a week because you're going to get one blog, one branded blog, and one branded social graphic. So you have the option, because you're getting 2 pieces of content weekly, you can set up your automation for 2 days, 2 days a week. Judith, easy to personalize. So actually, these are already personalized for you, these guides. So you don't have to worry about, you don't have to worry about, branding this yourself. It's done for you. Sorry, can you share a blog? Did you do that before? Yes. So I know we had a couple questions about blogs and also, additional languages. So here in the KCM member area, what you'll have access to right now is branded blogs, but also you can access those in English, but you can also access those in Spanish. So if you go to my account here in the upper right corner and go to content, you can now switch it to Spanish. And we can go here and by the way, these guides are available in Spanish too. Okay. All you gotta do is click on resources and then you'll see Spanish download. Okay. But to access your blogs in Spanish, you'll go to shareable content, click on the blog. You can see here it's in Spanish. And I know we had a question about viewing your blog. You can just click on view on my custom blog, and here's a preview of what your branded blog will look like. And it's also in Spanish. Okay, let's see. Catherine, if we were only getting 2 pieces of content for social media, was getting pulled for the other posts if we automate more than 2 posts per week? Those posts actually just won't go off. So if you set up your schedule for 5 days in the week, you're only going to have 2 days where content is actually shared. It's just going to, in your member area, it'll say, no post sent, or you'll get a message that says like there wasn't a post being shared that day. Now, if you're a paid KCM member, then you can automate 7 days a week if you chose to. let's see. Um, I think I'm wondering how it looks on Instagram because it did, I did it last week, but did not have. So yeah, that's a great question. So how your blog will look on Instagram, because Instagram doesn't allow for clickable links to be in their captions. So if you click on the share button here and click on Instagram, your blog is going to look like this on Instagram. It'll be like a blog preview photo. And then you can click on add caption and, well, you won't have to do this automatically. But basically, if you set up automation for blogs to share automatically to Instagram, it'll be this blog photo and then it'll be a summary of what the blog is about. Okay. And the same thing if you're sharing it manually. The only thing that you'll want to do is there's a button that you'll want to click on add caption hashtag, and that way you have your caption to go with the blog. That's a summary of the blog. You will not see the entire article, Jan. That's a great question. All right, so all wonderful questions today. We are so excited to have this kickoff. I'm so excited to be able to have the opportunity to be with you all today. So I know that you're going to have questions leaving here. If for some reason you had questions about like, okay, how do I share this? How do I do that? I'm going to follow up with you if you have more like billing questions. But if those of you that are like, hey, like I had questions about, what does it mean to share my blog post, or what does my blog look like on Instagram, or where do I go to get my social media connections? I want to point you in the right direction of how to get quick support. And that's by going to the support option, going to get help, and we have a blue chat option here in the lower right corner. This is quick support, y'all. This is quick support. If you're like, hey, I'm trying to get a question ASAP, if you click on contact support, this is an opportunity for you to contact our support team live. If you're like, hey, I need to talk to somebody, I got some questions, and I need you to support me more than a chat, we have, options to jump on a call. We have plenty of opportunities for you to get the training and the support that you need. You are not alone. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. You are not alone. We've got your back. And I know that a lot of you today are, you weren't familiar with KCM before. Hopefully you are now. And those of you that are, wanting to take advantage of the foundation's access, please do so. It's a gift. It's a gift that LIBOR has advocated for you all to have access to so that 2026 is going to be special for you. For those of you that are already KCM members and you're like, hey, what does this mean for me? I gotcha. I know a lot of you have let me know in the chat, so I'm going to follow up with you directly. For those of you that are like, hey, I love this foundation's access, but I need more. I need more. I want access to more tools. I want to continue to take advantage and leverage these tools. We have some very, very special like discounts. And I believe, Stephanie, you asked, does it include, yes, you get 50% off, y'all. 50% off our monthly plans and our annual plans. Okay. If you have questions about that, I'm going to actually include um, I'm going to include a link to my office hours. I'll make sure that you all have this post webinar too. But this will be the last thing that I say, and we're going to jump off. Here's a link to my office hours for us to jump on a quick Zoom so that I can walk you through, take a look at your options. We want to make sure that you're finding and identifying the right fit for you. So that way we can help you. All right. So thank you all so very much. Thank you, LIBOR, for just partnering with us. We are so excited for this time, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day. We'll be in touch soon. Bye.